let's check in with CNN's Adrian Broadus, who is on the scene there. Adrian, what are we learning now about the shooter now that this investigation is very much well underway?
Well, Abby, overnight, the shooter's family released a statement saying in part that they knew he struggled with depression. And in that statement, the family said they were actively working to address the mental illness he lived with. However, they said they saw no signs and they did not know that he was planning nor that he was capable of such violence. And I want to read to you part of that statement. It says, "No words can express our sorrow, anguish, and horror at the unthinkable harm our son Connor inflicted on innocent people." It also goes on to say, "We mourn their loss and that of our son Connor. We pray for everyone traumatized." And later this evening at 5 o'clock here in town, there will be a vigil to honor and recognize and remember the 5 people who lost their lives. Their lives ended here at the bank, Abby, where they worked. You can see now the front of the bank, the windows that were shattered by gunfire are now covered with plywood. Abby?
Adrian Broadus, thank you very much for that. And now we are joined by the interim chief of the Louisville Metro Police Department, Jacqueline Gwynn Villarroel. Chief Gwynn Villarroel, thank you very much for joining us. We were just discussing that investigators did search the shooter's home. What can you tell us now about anything that was recovered there that might give us some sense of what happened?
Well, thank you, Abby, for actually having me here to just discuss this incident, this tragic incident. Our investigators, along with additional local partners and federal partners, did do a search on the individual's residence, and we did recover numerous items. But again, the investigation is ongoing, and we really want to make sure that everything that we recovered, that we are actually going through it detail by detail, so that we're able to provide all of the necessary, accurate information to the family and to the community here in Louisville and to the nation as to why this incident was carried out. So the family understands that we want to make sure that any information that we provide that is with accuracy, because everybody wants to know why. It shouldn't have never happened, but the answer to the question we need to know why.
Yeah, I think that is absolutely, front of mind for so many families searching for some semblance of closure here. Would you be able to say, without disclosing any confidential information, are you all learning more about the motive? Are you closing in on a motive here?
We're learning more about who the individual is. We're learning more about his acquaintances. And so right now it's just piecing all of this together and what motivated that individual to intentionally take so many lives. But I'm just so grateful that my officers responded in such a brave manner in order to just bring a stop to that violence.
Yeah, and we do want to talk about that bravery that we saw on display there. But I want to ask you another thing about, just to clarify some of the information that's been out there. There was some information, conflicting information, about whether this gunman who was employed at the bank had either been terminated or was set to be terminated. Can you clarify what you know about that?
Yes, thanks for asking that question. We did get clarification. There was no discussion about him being terminated, and of course he wasn't fired. So he was an active employee there at Old National Bank, but there was no discussion about this individual being terminated. So that is with confirmation, and I'm able to give that information to you today.
Okay. And there was, we know, a voicemail that was apparently left by the shooter saying he was going to kill people. As we look at this situation and try to understand the timeline here, how soon did law enforcement or authorities know about that voicemail? Was there any warning time?
We didn't receive any initial warning time on that voicemail, but I'm just truly grateful that as soon as the call came in that we had an active shooter situation that was actually occurring, within 3 minutes, my officers were on scene. and they were engaging that individual. So timing is, as we all know, is everything, but not having officers to hesitate, but actually really go in and say, I need to stop this threat. And
Yeah.
that is what you saw in that video.
We saw in that video, as you were just saying, the officers really charging up that staircase to a deadly threat. One of those officers, Officer Wilt, a rookie in your department, was seriously injured. What is the latest on his condition?
He is still in critical but stable condition. We're hopeful that he will be able to continue to recover and be stabilized. But right now, the next 4 or 5 days is critical. It's critical because of where he got shot, and the doctors are closely monitoring him, and they're giving, of course, the much needed update on his status, and we are getting that update on his status as well. We're all praying and we're so concerned, and I'm just hopeful. I'm hopeful that my officer will be able to pull through.
And we are joining you in our prayers for a speedy recovery for Officer Wilt and for all the others who are injured there. Chief Gwynn Villarroel, thank you very much for joining us on what I know has been an extraordinarily tough week for you and your entire department.